So I got in another practice game with my 3,000 points of Beastmen, this time against some Tomb Kings. And you'll recognize the table. You know, we didn't have a lot of time, so we just set up and just decided to go for it. So starting on the left as usual, I got 5 raiders, a pig, the gore horde with the level 4 and the battle standard kitted out like so. Unit of 5 harpies, the gore bunker in the back. I got the 3 level 1s in there, 1 beast, 2 shadow with the signature spells of their respective lores. Actually, I think one of my shadow wizards rolled a pit for this game, and usually that's the only one I keep. If I roll something besides pit, I'll drop it for miasma, and then depending on the army, if I roll up a pit, I'll keep it. In front of the hearthstone, I got a pig and 5 more raiders, and then I have my 40 bestigors with the beast lord in there, 5 harpies behind them, smaller unit of bestigors with the flaming banner, and 2 raiders up front. So the Tomb King army. Again, I apologize for the quality of the photos. I don't know what I was thinking yesterday. But anyway, he's got a big unit of 5 chariots, or 8 chariots as it were, on the right there. 2 war sphinxes with fiery roar. A big unit of bowmen, looks like 40 bowmen. He's got his level 4 and using the lore of Nahikara, and then a level 2 with death, I believe. 2 catapults behind, casket, Hyro Titan, and a giant unit of 11 chariots with a prince in there. Yeah, so my immediate thoughts about the Tomb King army is that he has no fast cav, he has no carrion, he has really no kind of fast, light, maneuverable units. So the only way that he's got to clear out my my chaff units is his big bowman unit's probably going to kill 1 chaff unit a turn, and he's got his magic. So basically my entire magical effort is going to be devoted to stopping his casket and his magic missiles, like his spirit leeches and things like that, from zapping my pigs and my raiders and stuff. So I was lucky enough to roll up the first turn, so I advanced the army like so. The gore horde moves up cautiously because if you're a long-time follower of my battle reports, you'll know that I've been on the receiving end of some big chariot charges a couple of times, and they've scarred me for life. They're really horrific. So very cautious with the gore unit. But you can see, you know, surrounding my blocks, I have plenty of support to kind of you know, dictate what happens when, and control how the blocks get hit. And so that's just really my plan going into this game, is just I have too much support for him to handle. I'm just going to use it to trip up the good charges from the chariots, and just kind of pin him down, get the blocks into him, and grind him out. So that's my plan. You can see that the bestigors and the beast lord got matched up against the sphinxes, and that was obviously no mistake. So anyway, so yeah, that's my movement. Here's a better picture of the right. You know, being kind of a much more aggressive on the right, because the chariot unit's much smaller, and he's got the sphinxes. So, and also I really love to get my bestigors into that Hierophant's unit, obviously. So this unit of raiders on the right, you know, it's kind of, ideally he wants to triple charge the 2 sphinxes and the chariot unit into the big bestigor block, you know, to clear them out. But that unit of raiders is going to make his job pretty difficult for him, because, you know, if he charges the raiders, he can't or triple team the bestigor block, but he kind of has to charge the raiders, because otherwise they're going to be blocking him next turn. My magic phase is fairly uneventful, because I'm out of range of most of the stuff, so I'm just moving up. So as you can project, the chariots charged the raider unit. It was a real long charge, so I went ahead and fled the charge, so I could counter with the bestigors, but he redirected and got into the bestigors. So by my math, I should lose about half the unit, hit back, kill a bunch of chariots, take a rank off, and be steadfast 9 in the Beast Lord's leadership. Next round, bestigors will clean them up, no problem. and then the rest of his movement looks like so, shuffles the cats around, inches his chariot unit up, and really doesn't have a whole lot of movement. Shooting, I forget where he puts his catapults and stuff. Yeah, I think he drops a catapult on my blocks. I think he does one on the bunker and one on the best scores or something like that. His magic, he throws up the bubble additional shooting attack spell, and because his bowman unit is so big, it's going to murder a chaff unit regardless of whether it's shooting twice or not. So I go ahead and let it through, because if he shoots it at chaff units, it doesn't make a difference. If he shoots it at blocks, it's not going to kill enough anyway to make a difference. I'm still going to, my units will still be big enough to beat him up when I get close. So I'm just ignoring that spell and devoting everything, like I said earlier, to stopping the light of death from killing my support units that are going to win me the game against these chariots. Alright, so as we go into combat, like I said, I'm expecting to lose about half the best scores until he rolls that. So those are his impact hits. So now I feel much better about this combat. So he literally bounces off the best score unit. They hit back, kill half the chariots, and then crumble 2 more. So yeah, really, really ugly. It always does my heart good to kill chariots. I really hate Tomb King chariots, and if you're one of the viewers who doesn't know why, you can watch some of my earlier reports and you'll see why. Let's see. Alright, so my next turn, now, he dropped a catapult, like I said, he dropped it on my bunker. The leadership bubble is moving away from the bunker, and that made me really nervous. So I decided to pop these 2 wizards out on their own. And the reason why I did that is because he can get 1. I mean, I don't have a problem with him killing 1 or 1 at a time. He can have all 3 for all I care, just not all at once, and not very easily. So I try to make it difficult for him. He can zap 1 with the casket, but then he's given up the bounce because the distance between the units and all that, and panic checks and whatnot. So basically, I'm just trying to spread the risk out because I found out he does have Skulls of the Foe on his catapult, and so the bunker passed the panic check by the skin of their teeth. So yeah, so that's me spreading the risk out. Otherwise we move up like so. Gore unit's still very tentative. Here's where the magic's happening. Pig takes a wound from some kind of shooting, probably the chariot unit, but I go ahead and put him in front of the chariot so that this position, he's not allowed to well, he doesn't have the room to charge the Bestigor unit with the chariots, because he's going to end up wheeling into the pig and getting blocked, and he just doesn't have the space to work. Move the raiders up behind so that if he kills the pig and by some miracle they don't panic, he's going to bump into the raiders, or he's going to have to charge the pig and then devote some kind of energy, some kind of shooting or magic to clear out the raiders so that his chariots can actually get an overrun into the Gore unit. So he's got to deal with the raiders, because otherwise he's running the risk of them passing their panic test after killing the pig, and tripping up his unit. And then I'll be able to counter with the Gores, and then that's when a chariot unit like that gets charged. It's you don't want that for obvious reasons. Okay, so here's how we're looking over here. I lost one of my harpies from some kind of shooting attack or something. In his shooting, he drops a catapult on these guys. Oh no, what am I talking about? I'm talking crazy. This is after combat. They easily wipe out the chariots and reform like so. So here's how things are looking going into his next turn. So in his movement, he doesn't charge the Sphinxes in. He goes ahead and moves them both up. He uses one of them to hit the Bestigors with a fiery roar. He finds out I have the blackened plate because it doesn't do anything, and then he holds off on using the other one. Obviously the chariots charge the pig. And then here I'm moving my other pig up to be useful. Not sure how I'm going to use them. I'm not sure I'm going to need to. It just depends. It depends on if I make the charge, with the gore unit. Because if I make the charge in with the gore unit, no, if I fail the charge with the gore unit, I can drop the pig in the way to just do one kind of last speed bump if something goes wrong. So it's just nice to have him in the area. Okay, so now here's the catapult shot I was telling you about. He drops on the Bestigor's head, and they panic. Okay, so yeah, chariots. They kill the pig. In his shooting phase, he did take his giant archer unit to shoot at those 5 Ungors, so we got rid of them. But the chariots didn't get what they needed for an overrun to get at the Gors, so that's beautiful. That's such an easy charge for my Gore unit. I am loving that. Yeah, I really don't want to sound cocky or anything like that, but I feel that when I moved the pig and the Ungor raiders up into the chariot unit's face like that, I pretty much had that chariot unit dead to rights. So, just the plan is kind of coming together here. Let's see here. Alright, so in my next turn, obviously, I charge the Gors into the front of the chariot unit. Pig goes into the side. In hindsight, yes, that was kind of sloppy. I wanted the extra combat res, but you can see that I gave him kind of a bit of a charge with his Hydro Titan and flank the pig. So that's just, yeah, a little dumb. You can see my Harpies have landed in the woods to the left, past all the dangerous terrains, and they're ready to threaten the casket in the next turn, so that's a good spot to be. Over here, Beastmen charge into the Sphinx. You can see that I don't remember at which point I popped the Beast Banner out of the Gore Horde and into this unit. Because I figure the Gore unit has plenty of, they have so much tax, that unit's so big that they're going to grind that chariot unit down regardless of whether they're strength 4 or not. The Sphinxes, on the other hand, are a bit of a problem for the Bestigors, because if he gets them both in there and starts thunderstomping, I can't count on winning the combat, and then since they're constructs, it just kind of takes crumbling them out of the equation. So I have to. Earlier I dropped the Beast Banner in this unit for the strength 7. That way I can throw a wild form on them or a soul blight onto one of the cats and just kind of change the fight like that. Otherwise, you can see that hill up top is, I have a unit of Harpies on the hill. The Raiders are running over it, so they're rushing up there to handle the catapults. Magic phase, once again, the Great Bray is, he throws a purple sun through this unit, kills 3 chariots. And I think he uses the power dice he gains from that to hex one of the Sphinxes. So yeah, at the end of the combat, the Gors kill a couple more chariots. He's got a Tomb Prince in that unit, and I don't really know what kind of gear he's got. I imagine he's fairly tough, so I'm not even bothering to attack him. I just want to crumble the unit as quickly as possible. Now the War Sphinx on the right actually made a successful Thunder Crush attack, so it killed, and he rolled up a decent Thunderstomp, so he killed a pretty good number of Bestigors. But they took him down to 1 wound. Yeah, so this is how we're looking on the right. So in his next turn, he countercharges the Hydro Titan into the pig. Like I said, that was a little bit sloppy on my part. But you can see my pig already has a wound on him, so he's only going to get two wounds when he kills the pig. And he's not going to get the extra combat res for charging because the Hydro Titan will be out of combat. So that's, it's not much, but it kind of takes the sting out of that kind of stupid putting the pig in the side there. Okay, so I forgot to mention it, but in my previous, when I won the combat with the Bestigors, I reformed the unit out wide, because if you remember, the other pig had the other cat had a nice flank charge onto the Bestigor unit, so I just swung him wide so it'd be in the front. So here he is charging the front. And then you can see he moved his Hierophant's giant archer unit to kind of deal with these small units of these support units. You know, I really think that that unit needs to be broken up to probably 2 10s and a 20 or something, because having to waste all of those shots on just these little chaff units threatening his catapults is just, that's got to be heartbreaking for a Tomb King player. So anyway, so when he's shooting, he does kill off the harpies. Magic is, he's really not getting a whole lot of magic through. I'm just stopping the I'm really concentrating on stopping him killing my support units, like I said, with the Light to Death, and he's getting the extra attack spell through, because I can let that through without really worrying about it. But yeah, so his magic really isn't performing for him. His shooting isn't doing all right though, because here he drops a rock on my bunker unit, who's only got my beast wizard in it. But yeah, so they panic and they miss fleeing off the table by 1. So on my next turn, I get the harpies into the casket, raiders into the catapult. Gore unit, you can see they're dying in droves, but that's what they do best. They're grinding off that chariot unit nicely. Pig didn't make it though. Let's see over here. I don't know why the template's there. I didn't throw a purple sun or anything. My best scores just chopped up that cat, and they're about to kill the other one. Harpies kill the casket, and the best scores end up finishing off the cat. And in my next turn, I take the best scores. Or no. Best scores kill off the cat, reform, and at this point, my opponent's like, this is over. So he just decides to have a little fun, throws a glory charge into the Bestigors along with the Hyrule Titan, just to see what he can do. He throws up the desiccation spell, and yeah, at the end of combat, you know, he didn't kill hardly any Bestigors, and I just chopped up his skeleton unit pretty good. So at this point, he actually decided to call it, because my raiders finished off the catapults, the harpies got the casket, Gores grind off the chariots, and this is really it. And you know, Hyrule Titan and skeletons versus Bestigors is, you know, I think we all know how that's going to go. So anyway, that was the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.